our tiny house for the very first time today. Now, our tiny house has been on the road before. It actually has come across the Canadian border to us, so it's been on the road, but we weren't the ones behind the wheel towing it.
It got delivered, then we spent the last 3 months doing a bunch of work on it.
And there's still more work to do in and around it before we move in, but we're getting super close to moving in. But before we do that, we get to move the tiny house.
We're moving about 6 miles down the road to a place where we will have a full RV hookup, which will be very nice because we'll have full power and water and such.
So today is a very big day because we're hitching up and we're gonna take our tiny house out onto the road all by ourselves. So here we go. We're gonna share the adventure with you. Hello friends, we are 4 life adventure buddies, best friends, mother and daughter, and 2 wonder pups on a journey to find, appreciate, and share daily wonders and joys with the world. We are transitioning from a lifestyle based in a regular house into a traveling tiny house RV. Everything in our life is changing right now, from where and how we are going to live to how we earn a living while pursuing our heart and soul dreams. While we certainly have a lot to do and a lot to figure out right now, we are adventurers, filmmakers, artists, dancers, teachers, and writers on a mission to share wonders with the world and with you. Join us as we find wonder amidst our busy days. With so much to do, there is still wonder and joy to be found. In the video episodes leading up to this one, we have been sharing with you our tiny house journey to turn our RVIA certified built tiny house into a beautiful, customized wooden home on wheels. Since receiving our house, we have spent several months pouring ourselves into transforming this house into something very special. Along the way, we have been coated in sawdust and tung oil, and we have worked countless long and hard hours doing one DIY project after another. Throughout it all, we have sought to find and cherish the simple and grand wonders, or as we like to say, wonderment, of this whole tiny house creating experience. There have been so many wonders to appreciate, and now we are about to experience a brand new wonder that we have never experienced before. The wonder of being able to drive our house to new places. Today, we are going to move, tow out on the open road, our soon-to-be home on wheels for the first time. This is a day that will never be forgotten.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, we are editing and creating this video right now, but it's delayed. Video time and real time are a bit distant from each other. So while this day that we're sharing with you was so epic and momentous, since then we've actually already gone over 1,100 miles. But it's so fun to get to see and share with you this epic day that was really truly the start of traveling with our tiny house on wheels.
It's a day to remember. The first time that we moved our tiny house. So yeah, it was momentous.
Yes, for us.
The fridge is secured. The bathroom is safe and ready to roll.
The art studio is safe and ready to roll. The plants are all in place and ready to roll. All is safely secured in the sleeping loft. We're ready to go.
Kitchen is safe and ready to go. Preparing to move our tiny house on wheels for the first time is a giant exercise in preparation and trust. Since our house was delivered to us, we have added several custom pieces to the interior. Now our plants will be riding in the house. Our special cabinet is full of our art supplies and tools. And there's a large refrigerator in the kitchen. We have double and triple checked that everything inside the house is secured for travel. Now we have to trust our efforts and bravely do something we have never done before.
On this day, we experienced for the first time the challenging reality of lifting our house up with 2 tandem crank jacks that had no special gearing. Each rotation of the crank moves the house a very small amount up or down. So if you are trying to lift the house up several inches in order to load it onto the ball in the truck bed, then there are a lot of crank rotations that have to be done in order to lift the house up.
Is it pretty hard?
It's pretty hard. The higher the jacks were extended, and thus the higher the house became on the forward end, the more challenging each rotation becomes to crank. With a hearty dose of grit, determination, and excitement for what we were doing, the task of extending the tandem jacks got done bit by bit.
The day that we first moved our tiny house, it was really an incredible day. We had so many excitement about the future, and also a sentimentalness about where we have been staying. Our friends have been just so wonderful, and staying with them while we worked on our house was so special. But it's time to move out and time to be on our own
And move into our house.
Move into our house and have full hookups, and so I guess lots of emotions and very excited. So we were so ready for this move, and
I had a whole list of tasks to do.
We had the flight checklist, everything, and we're so organized. And you have everything ready, and then you double check, and then you double check again, and then you make sure you go through your list, and you double check again. And that first time, it seems like you take forever to leave. So the clock was ticking, and the day was aging.
It was a short daylight day. It was a winter day.
Which ended up pushing it to the late afternoon before we headed out to get to our destination.
They say love is free, but it's more than you can see. It's a song, it's a melody, it's the beat of you and me. It takes more than words to know. It takes more than bills to show.
We're a licensed custom tiny house RV.
How do I feel about this big day? I am so excited. This is what our dream is, to be a traveling tiny house. And I'm a little nervous. I have to admit, I'm a little nervous because I've never pulled a gooseneck trailer, but I've got this beautiful truck, and I was nervous the first time when we started pulling our little camper trailer. And once I pulled it with our van, it's actually a bumper pull, and I was scared. And then I did it, and it wasn't so bad. So I really feel this will be the same way. I'll be able to, first time, get the jitters out, don't have to travel very far, and I'm very excited because this is the beginning of our new adventure of living in a traveling tiny house. Now I'm going to do some practice maneuvers.
first bit of maneuvering is a little challenging. This house is big, the truck is fairly new to us, but a little bit of practice will go a long way to helping us out on this first journey. How did your first bit of practice maneuvering feel?
Practice maneuvering went A-okay. This is definitely going to be a learning curve. Here we go. Maiden voyage.
Off we go on our maiden voyage. Our 30-foot tiny house is hooked up to our F350 Ford diesel dually. We're about to go on the road. Granted, it's only a 6-mile journey, but it's still out on the road. I am so proud of Wendy. This is a big deal. Okay, we are now, the tiny house is hooked to the back of the truck. We are now headed out on main roads.
Let me see this. And there's our friends.
Yay! Here we go. Cheers to a big, exciting new step, to learning, to being brave, and to moving our tiny house for the first time.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna wait for that car.
We're about to make a turn.
A turn onto the main road and head to our first full hookup.
Yes. We're going through the first stoplight with our tiny house that we've ever driven our tiny house through.
We're driving the tiny house. This is my first maiden voyage in the tiny house. And it's great. It's driving really good. It feels good.
Feels good.
The truck feels great. I'm happy. I'm happy.
Yes. This is our first roundabout with the tiny house. See it very well. Oh, I see it right. You see it. And I get to see it empty back out.
Okay, get really close to the curb.
On your side?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
On my side, you didn't. You're still within the line.
yeah, so this is a wonderfully beautiful day to be moving our tiny house.
sign.
Go wide. Everything's good. Everything's good.
Everything's good. We're totally within the amount.
What's all this? Oh my God, it's beautiful.
The light is beautiful. It's a sunset wonderment. We're crossing our first railroad tracks with the tiny house. Here we go. We just pulled into the driveway of the place where we will be staying for a while in our tiny house. Here's our new home spot. We got our wood blocks screwed together. We have pretty awesome jack support blocks to go up on. So we're in our parking spot and now we are going to start to go up.
Okay, that once we got the house to our destination and we needed to land it, we had quite an experience because the jacks, the landing gear under the gooseneck, where you had to crank up the house. And
there was no like special gearing, like literally you have to crank the whole thing, the two tandem jacks down to lift the house off of the truck. And that was like the very first time that we had to do that.
As our friend told us, who ended up helping us, he said, I think you guys need to travel with a Bulgarian wrestler because it's pretty stout.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were trying to get it.
She did really good.
We had to get it level, and in that trial and error, we actually went up and down, several times, which meant it was a serious workout and took a while. And then it got dark, but it
became
evident.
It became evident that definitely in the future we're going to want to think about hydraulics.
Everything stayed in place. The plants are all in place. The art cupboard stayed closed. The refrigerator is exactly where it's supposed to be. I think our 6-mile travel went very well for our tiny house. This day for moving our tiny house for the first time was like perfect. It was calm, still, dry. It was a sunny day and we moved our tiny house, and then with the whole like experience of doing the landing gear, which took a really long time, it got dark, and as it got dark, the full moon rose behind the mountains, and it was so beautiful and so bright and big and epic. Like, I will always remember that full moon rising above the Cascades,
because we had a full, this beautiful view to the east, and so you got to see the moon right when it came up from behind the mountains. It was incredible.
It was a huge wonderment. And we were like, that we moved the house, we successfully landed it, and the moon rose, and in that it was just like a celebration, almost like victory for an awesome day.
It's a sign.
Yeah, it's a sign.
A good sign that this was going to be a very special place to experience our next chapter with our tiny house.
If you are interested in learning more about our tiny house and why we created the tiny house that we did, then visit seatreewonder.com, and at the top of our website you will see our tiny house, and on there you can read more and actually watch more different videos about why we went tiny and what we are doing to have literally a traveling
tiny house. And on that, we have a dashboard that we keep updated on a regular basis. So you'll be able to know how many miles we've gone, how many trips we've taken.
And we keep that up to date. So check out our website because it's a wonderful way to track and see how many miles we're going with our tiny house. Also, if you really want to stay up to date and see live time video updates and photo updates and get special gifts and like as we're doing our adventures, then become a patron of Sea Tree Wonder. Become a Sea Tree Wonderist and help support the adventures and all of the time that we pour into our videos. And we're sharing like really fun updates about our adventures as they happen.
And it's also a way to bring a community together and all of us share wonderments with each other. So it's something to really be a part of.
Yeah, it's a really wonderful family of people sharing wonders and wonderments with each other as we all experience and celebrate life experiences and as we experience life in a traveling tiny house. So check out Sea Tree Wonder on Patreon. We did it! We have gotten the tiny house landed and the truck pulled away, so the tiny house, voila, is chalked, stabilized, not quite level. We didn't quite get that figured out.
Level enough for now. It's very dark out. The moon is rising. The moon is beautiful. It's a wonderment.
And as you can see out the windows, it's completely dark. It's been dark for a while as we've been leveling. So we will get to show you where our new home spot is
Next time.
So thank you for joining us on this big day where we moved our tiny house for the first time. It was really meaningful.
Really exciting.
Getting to share this experience with you. This is a giant day for us and it's a big step towards our tiny house journey and our adventure to find and share wonder and reasons for gratitude each day. So
today has been a wonder.
Yes.
And oh my gosh, the sky as we were landing, beautiful sunset.
Gorgeous sunset.
Gorgeous. It was a wonderment.
And now there's a moonrise, which I'll try to take a video of. I don't know if it will show, but wonder abounds. So it's been a big day. We're tired. So we're gonna go get some rest, have dinner, a drink. Thank you for watching. See you next time.